Luka Doncic is gone, traded, excommunicated from Dallas. Bye-bye, as he was traded to the Lakers. The historians get Luka Doncic part of a 3-team deal between Dallas, L.A., and Utah. Anthony Davis, the big name going back to the Mavericks. There's some spare parts and spam to make the numbers work that change teams. The Jazz, they're just there to help trades go through, to facilitate trades. They take on draft picks and things like that, and they help the money situation work out. The Jazz are just a filler team at this point, not trying to win, just trying to help the rest of the league out. That's their role. So let us discuss the question. How do you grade the mega trade? Luka goes from the Mavs to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. Those are the headliners. We focus on the headliners. So I've got Putty, Sandra Bullock, and Return of the Jedi. And we will combine all of these things together, and we will follow our nose. This is wherever our nose takes us. I got a big schnoz. I got a really large schnoz, so we'll just go wherever the nose takes us. So my first thought on this is when you're grading, it's in the Maller report card, when it comes to grading trades, and we are the industry leader in grading transactions. Absolutely. Nobody is more trusted. Nobody in overnight delivery of a report card on transactions on this show in the middle of the night on Fox. Nobody has this kind of information. So on the Maller report card on the big trade over the weekend, Dallas and L.A., the Lakers, reluctantly, I will give them a B- on the trade. I will give them a B-. The Mavericks get an F. And then I don't know that I can go low. Is there anything lower than an F? I would like to go lower than an F. Is there anything beyond F? Can I go beyond F? Anyway, L.A. also picked up a couple of roster span players in the trade. Maxi Kleber, who hit a game-winning shot against them a while back, and the much-traveled Markieff Morris. He also goes to the Lakers. It is a foo-bar situation. It is. I'm attempting to still process the transaction. The math ain't mathing on this one. On many, many levels. Many, many, many levels there. The Lakers were just handed on a silver platter Luka Doncic, and they didn't have to bid against anyone? Like, why? Why would you do that? That's malfeasance. That's bad management. That's incompetence. That's wrong on many levels. Why would you do that? Wouldn't you fire the general manager if you owned the team and that is how they did business? I think you would. But it's like, we're going to call one team and we'll just give you the buy now price and that's it. And you don't have to bid and just submit an offer and we'll make it happen. Yeah. Now, back when the NBA actually had leadership, guys with hair on their chest and balls and things like that, David Stern would have vetoed this trade. He vetoed the Chris Paul trade, right? He would have vetoed this trade also. He said, well, we're not going to do that. But it's playing with putty. The whole thing's playing with putty. Putty explosives. We're talking ballistics here is what we're talking about. Plastic explosives. Now, Luka, he turns 26 later this month. Happy birthday. There's some great cake, great bakeries in Los Angeles. You'll love the bakeries in L.A. And he was traded for a player who is near the end of his athletic prime, who has the superpower of missing games. His nickname is Street Clothes, Anthony Davis. That's his nickname. He is more known for not showing up to work than showing up to work. And that's who the Dallas Mavericks had to get their hands on? Why? I don't get it. Davis turns 32 in the month of March. Now, these aren't your daddy's Mavericks. That is fair to say. Anybody that still thinks, and not everyone heard the news, but Mark Cuban, who was a fanboy, right? I mean, getting to Mark Cuban's got a lot of issues there, but Cuban's a fanboy. And he owned the Mavericks for a long time, and he sold out. Everyone's got their price. Magic Christian, everyone's got their price. Mark Cuban sold out for $3.5 billion. And that's the cost for Mark Cuban to allow this to happen. If Mark Cuban still owned the Dallas Mavericks, controlling interest of the Mavericks, he would not have done this. This was not a possibility. Right? It wasn't, but that's not the case here. And Cuban, even if he felt he had to trade Luka for whatever reason, would have rather sent him to an expansion franchise in Papua New Guinea than send him to the Lakers. Right? There's no way that would have happened. And, of course, there's a lot of dumb people that don't know that Mark Cuban sold out. He's a sellout. He sold the team. Good for him, $3.5 billion. And he's just kind of there as a make-a-wish thing when he travels with the Mavericks and all that. It's like, hey, I don't really own the team. I don't control anything, but I get to sit by the bench, and the players like me and all that. Yeah. Wow. So new regime, new blood, and you get what you get. You get what you get. Now, page 2. What makes the Luka trade so unique? What makes it so unique? Well, this is like Sandra Bullock's Academy Award-winning performance in the old movie, The Blind Side. The Blind Side. Listen, if someone had called up this talk show and said, hey, Ben, I'd like to make a trade. How about the Mavericks send Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and some spare parts, some pocket lint to be named later? We would have said something along the lines of, well, what bath salts are you sniffing right now, sir? And please go to the minibar. And we would have hung up on them. That's what we would have done. A video game would have rejected that trade, would have said, no, that's not a proper trade. No way. A 2029 first-round pick, that's all you're getting in terms of future draft picks and scratcher tickets. One scratcher ticket in 2029, that's it? But here we are. The unthinkable, the unimaginable. It's the first time in NBA history that two reigning all-NBA players have been traded for each other at midseason. As the trade deadline's not until later this week, but the big ones have already happened at this point. In the modern era, this is the craziest trade, the Luka trade of them all. And the thing that stands out, though, in the world we're living in right now, 24/7, round the clock, and the business of basketball, the currency of basketball. I've had this conversation with many people over the years who are in this world, and the rumor, and I ran a gossip site for years before, I was working here at the same time, but I ran a rumor site for many, many years. And the rumor is more important than the reality. Like, the rumor gets people talking. And what happened with this particular trade here, it's stunning because there was not even a peep, right? Loose lips in the NBA are commonplace, happens all the time. They work clandestine is how they worked. This time, this is how they worked. Cloak and dagger mission, 0 dark 30, however you want to say it, moving under the cover of darkness. And 'twas the night before the trade deadline week was upon us when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a unibrow. And then the Lakers, they played the Knicks, Midtown Manhattan on national TV, ho-hum. And then kaboom! The volcano exploded. But there was no bubbling up of this. There was no chatter that Dallas is unhappy with Luka. They're going to trade him. This came out of relatively thin air, so much so people were convinced that Shams was hacked, that this was not real. There was some funny business going on. All right, now lastly, so how does this Luka Doncic transaction play with the electorate in Dallas? Now, we're on in Dallas, so you guys can answer if you want to call in and give the pulse of the people. But from the outside, the way I see it, the Dallas Mavericks are cooked. They have violated the bubble of trust. And once you violated the bubble of trust, there is no going back. You have done the thing you can't do at the time you can't do it. You have sold the church of Maverick basketball, and you have just traded the deacon. You have said, get out of here, you're done. And as we understand it, despite enjoying a hearty meal and not really taking conditioning all that seriously, Luka was beloved, and he was their next Dirk. They were just in the NBA Finals against the Celtics last summer. And it's wild that you would make this particular move at this time. And the sales pitch, we've seen the sales pitch. The sales pitch played out. It's simple. The Mavericks, they're claiming, hey, we spent 7 years with this guy, and we were waiting for Luka, for the light bulb to go off, or for the epiphany to take place for Luka, and it never did. And so what we got was a character from Return of the Jedi. You might remember Jabba the Hutt. That's what we got. The guy's out of shape. He can score. That's it. He's never taken his job seriously in terms of being in top physical condition. Now, Luka has been out since Christmas. Here we are in early February with a strained left calf, and the streets of the NBA saying that there are factions in Dallas that are convinced the reason he hurt himself is because he's a fat pig, and that's why he injured himself and has been out since Christmas. Just poor conditioning and all that. But doesn't that seem like a temporary problem more than a permanent problem? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hey, but that's the Mavericks. They're planning all these stories to justify the trade, saying he's like 260 pounds and Mavs ownership didn't trust him. I've heard that bouncing around the pinball machine of the hot take here, that there was other mitigating factors. They didn't want to pay him the Supermax contract. They didn't want to invest that kind of money this summer, give him another contract. And will it backfire? It's already backfired. Mavericks aren't winning anything with Anthony Davis. Come on. Anthony never won with the Lakers. They never won a championship, not a real one, a fake one. Never won a real one with the Lakers. Not going to win now with Kyrie. They're both going to get hemorrhoids playing rock, paper, scissors on the bench while the other players are out there playing. Yikes. And as far as Luka, listen, if he had problems with self-discipline with the Dallas Mavericks, wait till you get to the Lakers and all those Hollywood Fs kiss your ass and invite you to all those parties with piles of drugs and amazing food. And you're on the A-list everywhere in L.A. because you wear the historian's uniform. That's what Luka has to look forward to. So if you can't control yourself in Dallas, I know there's famous people in Dallas. I know there's rich people in Dallas, but it's a different animal in L.A. And good luck. Good luck, Luka. Good luck. All right.